Imagine holding a piece of bronze created more than 3,000 years ago. Now imagine looking at its surface and seeing the sun, the moon, stars, and a mysterious representation of the sky. No telescope. No modern calendar. No computers. Just a Bronze Age object created by people who lived thousands of years before modern astronomy. This is the story of the Nebra Sky Disc, one of the most remarkable archaeological discoveries ever found in Europe. Welcome to History Uncovered. The discovery. The story of the Nebra Sky Disc begins in 1999 near the town of Nebra in central Germany. A group of illegal metal detectorists discovered a collection of Bronze Age objects hidden in the ground. Among them was a strange circular bronze disc. It was covered with unusual golden symbols. At first glance, it looked almost like a decorative object. But archaeologists soon realized that it was something far more important. The disc was approximately 30 centimeters wide. Its surface contained images that appeared to represent the night sky. There was a crescent-shaped moon, a large golden circular symbol, dozens of small golden points, and two large curved shapes along the edges. The object was estimated to be around 3,600 years old. That immediately raised a remarkable question. Why were Bronze Age people creating such a detailed representation of the heavens? The Bronze Age world. To understand the disc, we need to step back into the world in which it was created. Around 1600 BC, Europe was in the Bronze Age. People lived in farming communities. They traded metals, weapons, tools, and valuable objects across large distances. There were no modern observatories. There were no printed books explaining astronomy. And yet people carefully watched the sky. The movements of the sun and moon mattered enormously. They helped communities understand the changing seasons. They could help determine when agricultural activities should take place. The night sky was also connected to religion, mythology, and the organization of time. For ancient people, the sky was not simply something beautiful to look at. It was a guide. And the Nebra Sky Disc may have been created to represent that guide. What is on the disc? The most obvious feature is the large golden circular shape near the center. Researchers have interpreted it as either the sun or possibly the full moon. Nearby is a golden crescent. This is generally interpreted as a crescent moon. Surrounding these symbols are numerous small golden circles. Many of them are thought to represent stars. Among them is a small group of 7 points known as the Pleiades. The Pleiades are a real star cluster that can be seen with the naked eye. They have been important to many ancient cultures. Their appearance in the Nebra Sky Disc is one of its most intriguing features. But the most mysterious symbols may be the large curved arcs along the edges. The horizon arcs. Two large golden arcs appear near the edges of the disc. Researchers believe these arcs may represent the movement of the sun across the horizon during different times of the year. In simple terms, they could show where the sun appears to rise and set at different points in the annual cycle. If this interpretation is correct, the disc was not simply a picture of the stars. It may have been a practical astronomical tool. Something that helped people understand the relationship between the sun, the seasons, and the passage of time. But there is an important warning. Scientists cannot know with absolute certainty exactly how the disc was used. Its meaning must be reconstructed from archaeology and comparison with astronomical observations. The Pleiades. One of the most fascinating details is the group of 7 small stars. The Pleiades are easy to recognize in the night sky. Today, astronomers know them as a cluster of young stars located hundreds of light years away. But Bronze Age people did not know their true physical nature. They simply saw a recognizable pattern in the heavens. The appearance of the Pleiades could have been connected with seasonal changes and agricultural timing. This makes their presence on the disc especially significant. It suggests that the creators were not randomly decorating the bronze surface. They may have been encoding observations of the sky. A calendar in bronze. Some researchers believe the Nebra Sky Disc may have helped reconcile the movements of the sun and moon. The problem is simple. A solar year and a lunar year do not contain the same number of days. Ancient societies using lunar calendars therefore needed ways to keep their calendar aligned with the seasons. The Nebra Sky Disc may have been connected to this problem. Its symbols appear to bring together different celestial cycles. If so, the disc represents something remarkable. It would show that Bronze Age Europeans possessed sophisticated knowledge of the sky and the cycles of time. But again, the exact function remains debated. We should not turn an archaeological hypothesis into a proven fact. The mystery of its origin. Another question is who created the disc. The people who made it left no written explanation. We do not know the name of the craftsman. We do not know the name of the community that owned it. And we do not know exactly why it was created. However, the materials and style provide clues. The disc is generally associated with the Bronze Age cultures of Central Europe. Its design also suggests that ideas and objects traveled across long distances. The knowledge represented on the disc may not have developed in isolation. Ancient communities were connected through trade. Metal, amber, weapons, and other valuable materials moved across Europe. Ideas could travel with them. And astronomy may have traveled too. The disc was not simply decoration. One of the most important lessons from the Nebra Sky Disc is that ancient technology does not always look like technology. Today, when we imagine advanced ancient technology, we think about machines, gears, and engineering. The Antikythera mechanism is a perfect example. But the Nebra Sky Disc represents a different kind of technological knowledge. It transformed observations of nature into a physical object. The sky was observed. Patterns were recognized. Time was measured. And those ideas were permanently represented in bronze and gold. That required knowledge, planning, and craftsmanship. The strange journey of the disc. The story of the disc did not end when it was buried. Thousands of years passed. Civilizations rose and disappeared. Languages changed. The Bronze Age world vanished. But the disc remained underground. Then in 1999 it was found. Its recovery was not peaceful. The original discovery was made illegally, and the objects were eventually recovered by German authorities. Archaeologists then began examining the artifacts. The Nebra Sky Disc became one of the most important archaeological objects in Europe. Its scientific and historical value was enormous. And its story became even more fascinating as researchers studied its design. What does it really tell us? The Nebra Sky Disc does not prove that Bronze Age Europeans understood modern astronomy. It does not show that they had telescopes. And it certainly does not mean they knew the physical nature of the stars. What it does show is something much more realistic and perhaps even more impressive. People living more than 3,000 years ago carefully observed the sky. They recognized recurring patterns. They understood that celestial movements were connected with the seasons. And they created an object that appears to combine these observations into a single visual representation. That is extraordinary in itself. A window into ancient minds. Perhaps the most fascinating thing about the disc is not the gold. It is the way it gives us a glimpse into how ancient people understood their world. For modern humans, the sky is filled with scientific information. We know about galaxies, planets, black holes, and distant stars. But for Bronze Age people, the sky was both mysterious and practical. It helped define time. It helped mark seasons. It was part of religion and culture. And it connected people to the natural world around them. The Nebra Sky Disc may therefore be more than an astronomical object. It may be a snapshot of an ancient worldview. The legacy of the Nebra Sky Disc. Today, the Nebra Sky Disc is considered one of Europe's most significant Bronze Age discoveries. It has changed the way researchers think about prehistoric astronomy in Europe. It demonstrates that sophisticated knowledge of celestial cycles existed much earlier than many people once assumed. But it also reminds us to be careful. The disk is surrounded by interpretations. Some details are strongly supported. Others remain uncertain. And that uncertainty is part of what makes archaeology so fascinating. We are not simply reading a book written by ancient people. We are trying to reconstruct a lost world from fragments. A piece of bronze, a few symbols, ancient materials, and clues hidden beneath the earth. Final mystery. More than 3,600 years ago, someone looked at the sky and decided that its patterns were important enough to preserve. They created a bronze disk. They placed the sun or moon upon it. They added stars. They included the Pleiades. And they created mysterious arcs that may have represented the annual movement of the sun. Then somehow the object was buried. For thousands of years, nobody knew it existed. Until one day, in a field near Nebra, the ancient sky returned to the modern world. We still do not know exactly who created the disk. We may never know exactly how it was used. But every symbol tells us something. It tells us that people of the Bronze Age were watching. They were measuring. They were remembering. And they were trying to understand the heavens above them. The Nebra Sky Disc is not a message from the future. It is something much more powerful. It is a message from the distant past. A reminder that thousands of years before modern science, human beings were already looking toward the stars. And asking the same fundamental question we still ask today. What is happening in the sky above us? This is History Uncovered. Keep exploring. Keep questioning. And keep uncovering history. Subscribe my channel and waiting next video.